Gym Candy, Part 3, Chapter 14. Those days I was incredibly busy. Shoals Hole High had gone to an online grading program, and my mom had a password that let her check every assignment with every teacher, so I couldn't let school slide. After school, I drove to Popeyes and lifted, with Peter woofing at me if my form was a fraction off. In my free time, I was working jobs around the house to pay for the Jeep and the supplements. So Mick is very, very busy, right? He has school, he has lifting afterwards, he's working for his dad to make extra money, he has little to no free time. Peter knew his stuff. My personal bests in the bench press, squats, and leg press started going up, and I could tell my body fat was going down. In the mirror, I looked more muscular, but I wasn't lifting and eating right to look studly on the beach. It was all for football. Could I get the hard yards in the red zone? That would be the test. In early May, spring football began. Carlson ran it differently from Downs. I heard Coach Downs never started freshmen, he told us. Well, that's not how it is with me. I play the best players, period. If you're a junior with 3 letters on your jacket and you shave twice a day and some smooth-faced freshman whips your butt in practice, then you're collecting splinters and he's playing. Understood? So here we have a completely different coaching philosophy from Coach Downs. Coach Downs never started freshmen no matter how good they are, whereas Carlson says, I don't care if you're a freshman or you're a senior, I'm going to play the best player. In a way, it was a bad joke. I knew the upperclassmen at my position, knew that none of them could challenge me. But there was an 8th grader, Dave Kane, who was definitely a player. He had good size and he was fast. His long blonde hair seemed to stream behind him when he ran. When I told Drew he worried me, Drew waved him off. Pretty boy like that, he won't like getting hit by some 250-pound lineman. I bet he switches to wide receiver by Friday. Mr. Stimes was back at trainer, but Carlson had 5 new assistants, older black guys just like him. Linebackers worked with one coach, linemen with another, wide receivers with another. Carlson worked directly with me and Drew and the other backs. Under his eye, my technique, especially my footwork, improved. We had some full contact drills, but not many. Mainly it was helmet but no pads, which made me itch for real scrimmage, and I wasn't the only one. When are we going to play? Felipe Perez called out after 4 straight days of drills. We'll play on our final Friday, Carlson said, but that's it. I'm not getting anyone hurt for no reason. When I told Peter about the scrimmage, he told me not to lift that Thursday. Save your strength. It was good advice, but it was hard to stay home. Before Peter, weight training had always been drudgery. Now I was addicted. At last it was Friday, full contact 4-quarter scrimmage. Carlson put Drew and me on the black team. When I looked around at the other guys with us, I saw nothing but first stringers. Across from us, on the red team, was the first string defense. It was exactly the test I wanted. After the kickoff, Drew and I and the rest of the black team trotted onto the field. On first down, I took the handoff and worked toward the sideline, stretching the defense, my eyes searching for a place to cut back. I found it, turned uphill, and took 3 or 4 strides before somebody hit me. I went down, but not before I'd smacked him back a couple of yards. I'd gained 7. I wanted the ball again, but Carlson had Drew throw over the middle to our tight end, Bo Jones. Drew's pass was right into his hands, but Jones dropped it. On third down, Drew threw another pass, this one to Deshaun, running a post pattern down the middle of the field. Deshaun was open, but Drew's pass was about 2 yards too long. We had to punt, and red team's offense took the field. I trotted off, my mind working. 1 carry for 7 yards. A good start. Only, why hadn't Carlson called my number on second or third down? Why the passes? The red offense was going up against the second-string defense, and those guys weren't as good. Dave Kane gained 4 yards on first down, 2 on second down, and then 13 on a third down draw play that caught the defense by surprise. 3 plays, and Carlson had called Kane's number 3 times. After a screen pass, Kane bulled his way for 12 yards straight up the middle. Drew had said he was soft, but he wasn't looking that way to me. 2 downs later, on a 3rd and 3 play, he took a short pass in the flat and with his speed turned it into a 38-yard touchdown. As Cade trotted off the field, Carlson was clapping his hands. Way to run the ball! Way to run the ball! For the rest of that scrimmage, a calculator was running in my head, keeping track of both Kane's yards and my own. In the middle of the 3rd quarter, he had me by 30 yards. Then, late in the 4th quarter, he took a handoff straight up the middle and bounced off the pile. And the next thing anyone knew, he was racing down the sideline, 65 yards for a touchdown. 1 more series, Carlson shouted as Drew and I and the other first stringers headed onto the field after the kickoff. Let's kick some butt, I said in the huddle. Go out in glory. The guys nodded, but the fire was out. They were tired and wanted the scrimmage to end. Carlson let Drew call all the plays on that drive, and Drew called my number. I gained 8 yards on my first carry, a dozen more on the next one. Keep giving me the ball, I pleaded, even though I was exhausted, and he did. 5 yards, 7 yards, 4 yards. We drove down to the 14-yard line. On first down, I took a pitch out and broke for the corner. I made it and cut up field, and there was the end zone in front of me. All I had to do was churn out those final yards, and I'd have matched Kane. Outplayed him, really, because I'd faced the first-team defense. I never saw who hit me. All I know is that he got me from behind, and that he brought me down. He pounded his fist on the ball. It came loose and rolled slowly towards the end zone. I reached for it, but it was just beyond my fingertips. And then some cornerback scooped it up and started running. I twisted around to see Drew dive for him, but miss near the 20. Then I watched helplessly as he took my fumble the length of the field for a touchdown. When he crossed the goal line, Carlson blew his whistle. All right, men, that's it. I dragged myself into the locker room and listened to Carlson tell us how we'd done okay, but that we had to do better. We can't practice as a team until August, he said. I wish we could, but the rules are the rules. Until then, you guys keep in shape, work out with one another. The field is yours in the morning, every morning, all summer long. And that weight room will be open every day for the rest of the school year, and Monday through Friday in the summer, too. That's it. Dismissed. I started for the door, but before I reached it, Carlson called me back. Mick, you ever play another position? Not really, I said. I've always been a running back. Why? Just wondering. I walked out, numb. It was part exhaustion, part failure, and part shame. Being beaten out by Drager had been terrible, but at least he was older than I was. But Kane? Kane was 2 years younger. And another position? I didn't know any other position. You've got to have passion to live through the pain of playing football. My dreams were running back streams, cutting back, finding the hole, breaking into the open, running free. I drove home and showered. My mom came in from work and fixed dinner. Afterward, I climbed upstairs to my room and sat on my bed, the lights off. I heard the phone ring, and then I heard my mom knock on my door. Mick, it's your father. He's on commercial break. I took the phone from her. So, how'd the scrimmage go? He asked. Fine. It went fine. Are you first team? I don't know for sure. Come on, Mick, are you first team? I paused. I think I am. His excitement came through the phone. That's great. I'll warn Lion that I'll be taking off Friday nights next fall. So Mick's been putting in work at the gym, and he can tell his body's been changing, but he wasn't sure if it was changing enough for football. And now we have this scrimmage where you have this 8th grader, Kane, playing the same position as he is, but on the other scrimmage team. And Kane ends up doing way better than Mick does, to where after the practice, Carlson pulls Mick aside and is like, hey, have you ever played another position before, or considered playing another position before? Which kind of makes you think that Carlson is thinking about putting Kane as starting running back and moving Mick somewhere else. And if we know anything about Mick, we know he's very competitive and he's willing to work really hard. And so the question is, how far is he willing to go to be the starting, to be a starter next year on varsity?